In today's video, I'll be breaking down my practical and minimal everyday carry for 2025. I'd like to make note that anything you see throughout the video will be linked in the YouTube description if you're interested. First and foremost, the core everyday essentials: phone, wallet, keys. Since the launch, I've been rocking the iPhone 16 Pro in Desert Titanium. I've been asked in comments multiple times why I don't opt for the Pro Max option, and there's a simple reason for that. It's just too big. It feels like I'm holding up like an iPad mini every time I'm taking a phone call or being on FaceTime with somebody else. Not to mention, as somebody with small hands and small pockets, it's just not practical. And personally, I feel that the price upcharge for the extra features you get are very minimal for what you pay, as it's extremely powerful with Apple's top of the line chip and super long lasting battery life. The biggest selling point to me about this device isn't the Apple ecosystem or any of the other fancy features, it's the camera. We've got to the point where flagship devices are oftentimes better than pocket cinema cameras. And that's because the powerful sensors they pack in such a small device really makes it the best portable option. Depending on the reason, if I forget my main camera, I'm never upset because I know this can keep up just as well. If you are interested on how to master your iPhone's camera settings, I'll leave a link to a YouTube video in the description. The case I've paired with this colorway is from Sandmarc. It's in the sand color. Now, I've bounced between multiple phone cases, and something about the full grain leather really stands out to me. With microfiber lining and just an overall clean and aesthetic design, this has become my #1 go-to case as of now. However, the two complaints I have about this case are: number one, the camera control cutout isn't super accurate. It protrudes farther out than it should, which makes actually utilizing the button with the case a little uncomfortable and inconvenient. The second complaint are how sharp the buttons are, specifically the border around the camera. I don't know if the design is just to keep you away from smudging your camera lenses, but for whatever reason, whenever I hold my phone and my index finger touches it, it's really sharp. Not to mention the rest of the buttons, such as the action button and volume up and volume down, whenever I just naturally go to adjust these, it's just sharp, and I don't know why that is. No, it isn't a huge deal, just something I've noticed after a few weeks of use. And lastly, the second layer of protection is just a simple tempered glass screen protector from Spigen. I recently cracked my phone for the first time ever, and I will forever stand by the fact that getting a screen protector will protect you in the long run if you tend to be clumsy with your phone or you know it could potentially crack. A screen replacement from Apple will cost you so much more than just slapping on a new screen protector every time you get a minor scratch or crack. Next, I'm using Ridge's burnt titanium wallet, and I love it. I've had it for over 4 years, and there's a reason I continue to use it. Yes, I understand it's beat up, banged, and scratched, but honestly, I feel like it adds to the character. A lot of people will go as far as to say is these cards get scratched or they're hard to pull out, and I'm here to say that's not true. If you do carry multiple cards, you can literally pry back the little protective seal like this and access any cards that you need. And because I'm a minimalist, I only keep the cards I absolutely need, which makes it small, compact, and extremely portable. About a year ago, I did actually lose my cash strap, but it doesn't really bother me because I don't carry coins or cash, which is something to keep in mind if that's something you do carry. And this wallet is definitely not for you. While it does support that, it's not super ideal. I know the newer ones do have support for MagSafe and an AirTag, which is something I'd like to get my hands on considering how much I lose it. And with time, I'd eventually like to upgrade to a leather version of this to complement my iPhone's case. The key ring that I'm using is from Spigen. I don't know about you, but I hate jingle. I don't like carrying more than I absolutely need, which is why my key ring legit just consists of my car key. That's it. Most things I could carry on my keyring, I have on my Apple Wallet, which just saves space and clutter. A couple things I like about it are it does have a clip, which is perfect for backpacks or if you wear jeans. And it also has a bottle opener, which is just a nice touch to have. It's also extremely durable. As you can see, I've dropped it plenty of times on concrete, and I also just tend to play with it and spin it around like this, which results in it sometimes flying off my hands, landing on the ground, and getting more scratched up. But I know I have peace of mind, it's very strong, durable, and I know it won't break. I highly suggest this if you like simplicity. Next, moving on, we have my knife. This serves purely as a utility item. It's from a company called Gerber, and when closed, it's around 3 inches long, which is perfect. In the past, I'd always find myself looking for the scissors, which are big, bulky, and not portable. So if you want a solution to that, get yourself a nice small pocket knife. Moving on, we have my water bottle. I don't know what the statistic is, but I promise you, you're dehydrated and you need one. This specific product is from a company called Simple Minimal, and it's one of Amazon's top sellers. It comes with 2 different attachments. I always keep the one in with the straw just for convenience. For me, both as a stationary and active person who goes to the gym, plays basketball, and has long editing sessions, I always have my water bottle with me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are 128 ounces in a gallon, which is what I try to aim for every day, which means I have to drink about 4 of these. So I try to go through 2 in the morning, 2 throughout the afternoon, evening, and I hit my goal. I used to legit carry around a gallon water bottle, which I just learned was way too heavy and just not practical. Plus I could bring this in the airport and refill it as I go, and it saves me a lot of money. For those wondering, it doesn't do a great job at keeping water cool because it's not super thick, but because it's not made out of plastic, it does a better job than most. Next, a non-negotiable essential are my AirPod Pros 2nd generation. I've cycled between multiple earbuds over the years. Sony's, Jaybirds, JBLs, Soundcore, nothing. And I always come back to my AirPods. It's just a well-made product, and as unpopular as this take may be, I truly believe this is the greatest piece of innovation Apple has ever created. If I'm out and about eating food and I want to consume content, I can literally silence my entire environment. Or if I'm on FaceTime or just a generic phone call, I don't have to pull one of these and be like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Like, just get yourself some good earbuds. I can freely communicate hands-free. The fact they sync with my MacBook and iPad is perfect. Next, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 essential personal care items. I've always been a perfectionist, germaphobe, and slightly OCD, and I wash my hands and clean my hands more times than I should. Honestly, a bad habit. I touch things, Germ-X, touch another thing, Germ-X. It's just something that I feel like I can't break. I always have a small bottle of hand sanitizer on me at all times. Paired with that, because I use hand sanitizer so much, my hands become cracked, which means I always have to have lotion. Naturally, I have dried and cracked hands, and it doesn't help that I wash them all the time, so this is an absolute necessity. Lastly, chapstick. Now, I've experimented with multiple different brands, and I continue to come back to Burt's Bees. They have a lot of great flavors, it's long lasting, and honestly, I have no complaints. Next is my fisheye lens for my iPhone. I don't know what it is with me, but I absolutely love ultra-wide cameras and the aesthetic that they give off. All you gotta do is clip it on the ultra wide camera, and just like that, I turned my iPhone into a fisheye lens that works perfect for both photo and video. What I like most is it zips up very nicely in this small little carrying pouch. With most new flagship devices being able to shoot and log video, it's one of my favorite features I love taking advantage of. ProRes or log video takes up an unhealthy amount of storage. Trust me, I shoot all my content in S-Log3. I know how much storage it takes up. But the fact that this device only has 256 gigabytes of internal storage, while that may seem a lot for log video, it's not. It's as simple as plugging in a USB-C from the storage to my iPhone, and it'll automatically add extra time because it'll record all the photo and video straight to the external drive. So when I go to edit it, I don't have to airdrop or download massive files to Google Drive. I just plug it into my MacBook and start editing the footage straight off of this. It's a super small and compact accessory I have to have with me if I know I'm shooting video. To make sure nothing I bring dies on me, this is Anker's laptop portable charger. There are multiple reasons why I truly believe this might be the best you can purchase. For one, the handle functions as a USB-C cable. Not to mention on top, you also have another built-in USB-C cable that's also retractable. And on the side, you also have an additional USB-C port as well as a USB-A port. Having a display solves all problems that common portable chargers have, and that's I just never know when it's gonna die. Those little dots aren't very accurate. So being able to cycle through battery temperature, battery health, battery consumption, and the amount of time it takes till it's fully charged, it's just a peace of mind feature I'm now realizing I can't live without. I can't tell you how many times my friends ask me, yo, can I charge my phone? Do you have a cord? I'm like, I got you. If you tend to lose a lot of personal belongings like I do, an AirTag is an absolute essential. If you're already on the Apple ecosystem, it syncs perfectly with the Find My app. It's very accurate and it's just nice to have. To store everything, I'm using Lululemon's fanny pack. I used to be a big hater of these because I thought it should be backpacks and backpacks only. Depending on the size you get, the zipper on top opens up to plenty of space in small compartments. I can fit literally everything I just mentioned except my water bottle in here, perfectly tucks away, and I can just keep the absolute essentials in my pocket. It does have a back zipper, which I tend to use for items I'm accessing pretty frequently. Let me know in the comments what your everyday carry items consist of. I've always been fascinated with gear, accessories, and gadgets, so I'd love to read what you guys have. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe as we're approaching 100,000 subscribers, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.